Yo, this is the third request that I've had for Watsky, and I can't even tell you after the first two how hyped I am for this one. Roll it. Now, after the first two videos that I did of Watsky, I was like, why does this dude's voice sound familiar? Why does his style of like writing sound like I've heard it before? And like after I got the second video, after I recorded and edited that one, I was like, yo, it's because he is a spoken word poet, if I'm not mistaken. Like, I think that the S is for Lisp video, I think I remember like watching that whenever I was like heavy into spoken word poetry. I just never knew that he was a rapper, and the fact that he's a spoken word poet, that's what makes his rapping and his writing so compelling. Like, it's one thing to be able to have the talent to do spoken word, because it's like you gotta have like a whole type of swagger specifically for that. But then there's also the talent that you have to be able to rap. And a lot of times these two things, they're parallel lines. They never converge. People who do spoken word can't rap. People that can rap their ass off, they can't do spoken word poetry. It's just like one of those things. Just like people who are good at Guitar Hero can't play the guitar, you know? But after doing the spoken word poetry, the S is for Lisp, and then the conversations track, that the very first one that I did by him, I think that's what makes his music so compelling to me, is that it's like the poetry just like oozes out of his pores whenever he's rapping. Like, when he's rapping, he sounds like a rapper. There's nothing lacking in his rap. But when you just listen to the lyrics, if you were to just bring the lyrics up and read them, it's basically regular poetry without the instrumental. If I was just to read the lyrics of conversations, it would sound like spoken word poetry, and I think that's why I like him so much. So I'm hoping to get that here, but there's really only one way to find out. Follow your boy on Instagram and Twitter at TheThirdErnest. Also hit up the stream on Twitch. Follow the Twitch, all linked in the description, at TheThirdErnest as well. And we got, hey, the moment that I looked and turned this way at my notes, I completely forgot to mention that this is a Patreon request, and it just clicked. So today's Patreon request for talking to myself from Watsky is from Kevin Durant. Nah, just kidding, not Kevin Durant, from Carter Durant. Carter, I appreciate your Patreon membership. Anybody that wants to potentially support the channel, I do this full-time on YouTube, specifically because of people on Patreon. So if that's something that you want to have a hand in, if you want to say you support somebody that's doing this full-time, then check out the Patreon, first link in the description below. But that's it, we got Watsky. Now let's get it. That's dope. It's a dope little effect to like have the I don't know if this is one of those like self-playing pianos like you would see in old Western movies, but I doubt that. It's probably just CG, but that's dope. That's a dope little intro to the track.
One day you opened up your eyes, inside of you, inside a world, inside a universe. You didn't get to choose, you didn't get to pick the rules, or pick the past, or set the pace, or cast the cast and crew. You didn't get to pick your starting place.
Bro, you see what I mean by everything that I just said in the intro? This dude's like, oh my God. This dude's writing is just so poetic. There's rappers out, I mean, rap is technically poetry, but a lot of rappers, they sound like rappers. Like, it sounds like they write specifically to rap. This sounds like it's deeper than that. This sounds like it's written to, like, it's introspective. It makes you think. It's just regular poetry that has a very profound message. It just happens to be on a rap track. We are literally 30 seconds into the video, and I'm already pondering life right now. I'm like, yo, we did just open our eyes one day. What was before that? What comes after this? We just opened our eyes, and the number one thought in our head is to survive. We don't know why we do the things we do. The rat race isn't real. Money isn't real. Time isn't real. Time is relevant. Like, we just open up our eyes and we don't question? Bro, obviously rhyming is important in rap. It's like the main thing. It's one of the main things that matters in rap. But someone who is a spoken word poet knows how to utilize different type of techniques in terms of like writing and poetry techniques than just rhyming. The S alliteration, he pronounced it and he made it stand out above the rhyme. So there's a lot of S sound. Like, you get to pick the place, like, he just has all of that. Just, that's not something that a normal rapper does.
You didn't get to pick the rules, or pick the past, or set the pace, or cast the cast and crew. You didn't get to pick your starting place. And though it was a race you didn't understand, you simply lined up on the blocks, and when the pistol popped, you ran. And when you tripped and dropped, you picked yourself up off the ground and picked your scabs, and knew you had to pick a plan to end what you began. As you got old...
Yo. This is gonna move me so much. This is gonna be a tough listen. And it's not even a tough listen in terms of oh, I'm sad or it's a sad song. It's just like a tough listen because it makes you wonder. It makes you wonder what are we doing here? What is all this for? What is life about? You know? And you really don't even start thinking those things until you hit a certain age after like life calms down. Obviously, when you're growing up, you're learning. There's just something new every day. You're playing sports, you're making friends, whatever. But once you pass college and once you get into a steady career and your life is like pretty constant, we're creatures of habit, like you actually have time to think like, what are we doing? You know? You never questioned when you heard the pistol pop, you ran, you lined up at the starting block and you don't know why, you just went forward. And this girl's dancing right here. I hope the whole music video is her dancing because this is also making it powerful. Somebody out there that knows dance, tell me what this is. Like, what type of interpretation of dance is this? Would this be considered lyrical?
Lined up on the blocks, and
when the pistol popped, you ran, and when you tripped and dropped, you picked yourself up off
the ground and picked your scabs, and knew you had to pick a plan to end what you began. As you got older, there were days of cold surrender, days of shrugged whatever's folded in with days of shocking splendor. But as time advanced, the lovely days were covered up from view by an advancing melancholy haze that hovered near the dew.
Dog, see, and this is like the second time that he's brought up like like knowing that the feeling of death is slowly creeping upon you, knowing that your life will eventually come to an end. Everything that you've done prior, from sad moments to happy moments to like laughter and joy and pain, like all of that gets overtaken by the fact that you know that you are eventually going to die, and you don't know what's on the other end of that. You know, like God.
Collie haze that hovered near the dew. Yet there were moments. There were these pure arresting moments when you stepped outside your head, outside your pain, outside control, outside the bullshit, out of body, out of rage, outside the need to get it. Get it? You will never get it. That's okay.
Dog, there's a moment that you stepped outside out of everything internally. You stepped outside and you realize there's a need to get it. Like, you need to understand, but you're never gonna understand, and you need to understand that never understanding is okay. Bro. Woo. This one right here, son, let me tell you. We're gonna listen to that whole last part again.
Outside control, outside the bullshit, out of body, out of rage, outside the need to get it. Get it? You will never get it. That's okay.
Bro, outside the bullshit, outside the rage, you're outside of the need to get it, and you'll never get it, but that's okay. Shh, dog. I'm about to be thinking about this song for like the next week. We are literally the only animal on the face of the planet. We're the only animal big enough with a developed brain enough that we can even question these things. A deer doesn't know why it does what it does. It just does. A gazelle doesn't know why it's running from the cheetah. It just does. It just knows the survival instinct. Imagine how simple of a life it would be if all you knew was to eat, procreate, and survive. While our brain keeps us at the forefront of math and love and science and innovation and wondering about the universe, and it keeps us at the top of the food chain, it's also our downfall. It's our detriment. You don't always have to know why. You just have to accept.
Outside the need to get it. Get it? You will never get it. That's okay.
Bro, this is heavy. This is, yeah. And then this girl's dancing, gorgeous. Like, I am physically being moved by her movements to the song, you know?
Had a little spot where you would go through a lot. Wanna shove it to the bottom, but the trouble gonna bubble to the top. Then the bubble gonna pop, and the hustle never ever gonna stop. Cause you get up in the morning, get ahead to get to bed, and then you do it all again until the moment that you drop. You need a
Bro, you get up in the morning and you go to bed and you do it all again to the moment that you drop, the moment that you die, bro. And he said you try to push everything to the bottom, but eventually it's gonna bubble to the top, and you wonder, is it ever gonna stop, bro?
Ever gonna stop, cause you get up in the morning, get ahead to get to bed, and then you do it all again until the moment that you drop. You need a plot, what you wanna witness with this life you got. You kicked and fought, trying to get up in your skin and pick this lock. That ticking clock, let's you know the bitch you got. These situations which you issue, someone fit too quick should sit you down to talk. Ever wonder who's the crazy one? People walking to work as if nothing is off, but if a person really got it, they would be cracking a bottle into buddies head and looting from shops. Other Other times you're alone, knowing nobody's home, but you walk around muttering under your breath, second guess it, should say, God damn it, God damn it, God damn it, just whispering soft. Do you ever get lost deep in your...
Bro, just, yo, the whole song is fire, especially this part right here, because he is literally like speaking out loud with the speed at which we talk to ourselves. That's what makes this moment of the song right here. Like, there's really nothing to interpret or break down. It's all pretty straightforward. They are very deep concepts that he's talking about, like what is the purpose of life? What is anything really? But it's just the fact that he's talking out loud. He's talking out loud with the speed that we talk to ourselves, and you might not even realize that is what he is trying to do. Think about all the things that go through your mind. Like whenever you're in your mind or in your own head and you're talking to yourself, think about how fast your brain changes from subject matter to subject matter as you deal with these existential questions, basically. He said you need a plot. What do you want to witness with this life? It's literally the only one that you got. He said you need a plot. Like, what do you want to witness with this life? That's such a fire ass way of saying that, bro. Like, you literally get one story to tell in your life. Like, what is the plot of that story gonna be? And that's all up to you. He said, you ever wonder who's the crazy one? Is it you talking to yourself, or is it the one that's walking to work without questioning anything that goes on? Bro. Then he said, when you're alone in the house and when you're talking to yourself, it's crazy.
Do you ever get lost deep in your thoughts? Triple when you think about the cost of seeing this through? When you turn your stomach into knots that you don't know how to undo? But do you ever have another moment after that where you can see there's no one way this has to be? Or maybe that's just me.
So fire, bro. You're talking to yourself, but then you come to the realization, like, what you see doesn't have to be this way. The moment that you're in, the emotions that you're feeling, you could either feel down in the moment or you could feel positivity in the change that's coming from that moment. At the end of the day, the moment doesn't really matter. What matters is how you take it in. Because at the end of the day, nothing really matters. We only think that it matters because our brain is big enough to realize what the future is. But in all actuality, the future and yesterday are both just concepts. Like, they don't actually exist. The only thing that exists is right now in this moment. So you can be scared or prepared or let this present moment affect the way you think about potentially future things, but why think like that when the future might not ever come? There is nothing that says that you are going to see tomorrow, you know?
Or maybe that's just me.
Can we also just talk about how gorgeous the choreography is, bro? And like the concept of like, she's a solo dancer, obviously. It's like you have other people within you. And that's like basically when she splits into the RGB, how do I put this? It's like the representation of having more than one thought train or talking to yourself and holding conversations with yourself. In all actuality, it's just you. And from what I can tell, this is not one performance that just split into triplets or quadruplets. Like, they didn't just copy her over and change the color. It looks like it's multiple versions of the dance, because there are very intricate, like, smaller things that are not identical. Each performance is unique in its own way. The concept driven nature of this track and just the existential, like, questioning that Watsky brings to his listeners. Also, this has nothing to do with the song, but just like, I don't think people realize how strong dancers are. This chick's deltoid like shape is more defined than mine is. Yeah. Ooh. If there has ever been an artist that can get me like in my like, oh shit, none of this matters, life doesn't matter, like what are we here for type vibe, it's gonna be this dude Watsky. Every single time. It's only been twice, but still we're batting 1,000. Who requested this? KD, right? KD5? Nah, I'm just kidding. Carter Durant. Appreciate the request, man. This is, oh man, I'm fucking with Watsky so hard. But yo, that brings us to the end of this video, ladies and gentlemen. If you like what you see, please consider liking the video, leaving a comment down below. If you like what you see enough, please consider subscribing. The algorithm picks up on all the activity on the channel, so comments, likes, subscriptions, all that helps the video get pushed out there, and that means the world to me. If you want to potentially support the channel in a bigger way or a deeper way, you're in a monetary capable position to do so, consider checking out the Patreon. First link in the description. If you're not someone who's big on Patreon, if you want to check out the stream, you can also donate to the stream as well. It's going to be a completely different type of content that we have over there, but it's just gonna help. It's gonna reach more people to bring them into this third family, you know? And I'm excited about that. So if you want to potentially support monetarily, if you do it on Patreon or Twitch, either way, it means the world, because that's what keeps me doing this full time for y'all in front of this camera. But that's really all that I gotta say. Follow the Discord, Instagram, and Patreon. Follow the Discord, Instagram, and Twitter, all linked in the description below. That brings us to the end of this video. And like I always say at the very end, I appreciate your time, and go out there in the world, love and care for one another, love and care for each other, and I'll catch everybody in the next video. Peace.